No, no, yeah, no, no, yeah.
Hi, I'm Michele from Doughnuts and Deadlifts, GM, Doughnuts and Deadlifts. Ooh. I was a gymnast growing up. I've been coaching gymnastics for about 12 years now, both competitively and recreationally. I noticed the other day Drew doing some tap swings, what we call tap swings. Crossfitters call them
tap swings.
Tap swings? Okay.
I don't know if I don't know if they really do them that often.
Yeah, this is true. Probably don't. They're talking like these things?
You're good. Makes it look authentic.
Tap swings are one of the very, very basic fundamental skills that gymnasts learn from the very, very beginning. They need it to lead up into long hang kips, giant swings, any sort of giant swing to a pirouette. It's those two basic movements, the tight hollow position and the tight arch position, that they need to use basically in any other skill on bars. It's all about swinging on bars. This is a tap swing. So we're looking for a hollow in the back, a hollow in the front, and an open position under the bar. Nice, long, straight, open position. A couple of the things that we saw in Drew's tap swing, he has enough swing, but we see a lot of hip hinge, which we don't want to happen at all. That's breaking your line. We want to think about a very long, straight, tight line, just like if you were to stretch a rubber band and pull it back and forth. That's what we want to see. Just stretching a rubber band. We don't want to see that line breaking at all, because then we lose any kind of momentum that the tap swing is going to help you with getting higher. Half of gymnastics, I think, is, for CrossFitters especially, is just something that they've never been put into those positions. So doing a drill that will help get into that and just having them activate the right muscles will help a lot with just fixing those technical aspects of each skill. A drill that I had Drew do to kind of help strengthen that position, to help him find that position. We have a rubber band. The size of the rubber band is going to be determined by how tall somebody is, how much they weigh, where the rubber band is actually going to hang. For Drew, this is what we found to work pretty well. It's a pretty high bar that we have this on. So the rubber band is going to be a little bit thinner. If he was taller or heavier, we might want to go with a thicker band, or maybe do 2 of those ones, something like that.
It took a little trial and error.
Yeah.
This is what we found worked.
Right.
You'll know when you find it.
Yeah. We do want enough movement in there to be able to recognize the muscles that we're using. We're going to hold on to the rubber band, one hand in each loop. We're going to make sure that our ribs are in. So we have that nice, I call it a turtle back, or mad cat. Our shoulders are on our ears. There's no angle in our shoulder angle. Glutes are tight, abs are tight, legs are straight. And now what we're gonna do is we're just gonna kind of lean forward a little bit, press down on that rubber band, keeping that line exactly the same as what we're doing here. And then we'll lift the hands and come back to a stand. Press, press, press. Now what this position is simulating right here, that's our back swing on our tap swing. So we're pressing down on the bar and our ribs are in. Rather than trying to lift our hips up to get higher, we're pressing down on the bar. Very good. Tight tush. Yes. Good. The most important thing to remember in this is making sure that their hips are not hinging. So we're squeezing our glutes together as tight as possible. Legs are straight, and we're pushing forward in that. Ribs stay in, hips push forward. Now that we've tried that positioning drill, we'll move on over to the bar and see how that translates for him. If we're not seeing much change, we need to go back to the drill and do it more often, more times a week, longer, all that kind of stuff. And you can make it harder by going a little bit thinner on the band, going lower, so we're coming closer to the ground and back up. That'll make it a little bit harder, and then jump back on the bar. Let's see how that looks. Good. Ears covered. Go. Squeeze your booty. Squeeze. Not bad. So we definitely have a much longer position in the back. Rather than his feet being underneath him, his feet are a little bit more behind him, which is really, really good. One thing that I noticed a big difference between here and here was your head position. Okay, so when we were on the rubber band, our head was pretty much neutral, and our shoulders were on our ears, and we had a nice round position here. On the bar, you tend to tuck your chin a lot, so we want to try to keep that neutral. I usually say, like, pretend there's a little lacrosse ball here, so you're trying to hold that lacrosse ball. Yes, much better, much better. Good. Awesome. The hip position is so much better. I do have another drill if you want to see it.
Why not?
Oh my gosh! One of the things that I noticed with his tap swing, we fixed that hip hinge. Now we need to fix the back position. When we were doing this drill, I talked about that turtle back, really pressing the ribs in and pressing down on the bar. This will kind of help fix that position. It's a position that I don't see very much in CrossFit, really engaging that core and super round back rather than a neutral back. We want a very, very round back because that'll help get to that highest point on the tap swing. So what we're gonna do here, I have a little mat. It doesn't need to be super high. We're gonna have Drew put his shoulders on the mat, hands by his sides. His chin will be on the mat, so we're like head neutral. Hips are trying to press down, glutes are engaged. So try to put your hips on the floor. Exactly, straight legs. And now what we're gonna do, without lifting those hips off the floor, we're just gonna try to make that turtle back. Pull it in. Push up more. Good. And then we'll relax everything. And go. Pull it in. And relax. Good. What we can do as a next step for this, Drew's pulling in very slowly. In a tap swing, it's gonna happen instantaneously. So we need to relax and try to pull into that position as fast as we can. Ready, go. Yeah. And relax. And go. And relax. Make sure you keep your hips on the floor. And go. Yes, that was it. See how the hips didn't move at all? That was perfect.
Nailed it.
Very nice. One more. Go. Yes.
Michele, obviously a much better artistic gymnast than I am, but she's right. The tap swing is the basis of a lot of other swinging bar movements, and we do see those very regularly in CrossFit programming. Those positions of globally extended and flexed are hollow arch positions. Even the start from the hang to the finish at the top looks very, very similar to a bar muscle up. And really that glide kip, which Michele demoed, if we can mute that and make that a little bit more compact, it allows us to have a much more efficient bar muscle up. Generally, a standard for the bar muscle up in CrossFit is the feet have to stay below the bar, that horizontal plane of the bar. In a glide kip, we see the feet come up a little bit higher, but Michele, given that she's done this for a decade plus, is going to be able to kind of dial back the elevation of her feet while still keeping the basics and elements of that tap swing intact, and do a very efficient looking bar muscle up. So Michele's able to link successive bar muscle up attempts, the feet not going above the bar, but still the initial portion very, very similar to that glide kip, the basis of which is, as we mentioned earlier, is that tap swing. So developing that tap swing, developing a lot more familiarity with those hollow and arch positions, and using some of the drills that we kind of discussed here today to build that familiarity. It's going to lend itself to developing the tap swing. It's going to lend itself to much more efficient bar swinging movements. So, good job.
Thanks, Drew.
Okay, say bye, everybody.
Bye.